I don't normally believe in haunted things. Ghost stories are fun. Movies, books, all of that, I enjoy it. But I've always separated fiction from real life. I never thought I'd be the one writing something like this. But something changed after I brought that mirror into my home. At first, it felt like a smart, affordable choice. I had just moved into a new apartment and was still furnishing it on a tight budget. I found the mirror listed on a secondhand app. The seller was only 10 minutes away. It was tall, heavy, and had an old carved wooden frame. Real wood, not that fake, flimsy stuff. It looked aged, but not broken. A little dark, maybe. The glass had those soft patches around the edges where the silvering fades, but it gave it character. The woman selling it was older. Not elderly, but maybe in her late 50s. She was cleaning out a storage unit. Said it used to belong to her grandmother. She said it had been in the family a long time, and then added, "It's time to let it go." She said that part quietly. When I handed her the cash, she paused for a second, looked at the mirror, then looked at me. And before I could say goodbye, she said, "Don't hang it across from a window." She said it with a smile, like it was a joke, but her eyes weren't joking. I laughed nervously, said something like, "Okay," and left. Back at home, I leaned it against the hallway wall for a few days before deciding where to mount it. Eventually, I hung it across from the living room window. I liked how the morning light hit it. It made the space feel brighter, more open, more alive. I didn't think about what she said again until the first night I couldn't sleep. It wasn't loud noises or nightmares, it was just a feeling, like I wasn't alone. I kept looking toward the hallway even though nothing was there. I had never had that kind of tension before, where your body is calm but your brain won't settle. It wasn't fear. Not yet. Just discomfort. Like being watched by someone who knows they shouldn't be there. The next few nights, the discomfort turned into something sharper. Creaking sounds, light tapping, small shifts in air pressure. I'd check the hallway over and over. It always looked normal. Still. But the mirror started to feel different. I couldn't explain why. It didn't move. It didn't show anything unusual, but sometimes I'd walk by and feel like it had just stopped showing something I wasn't supposed to see. Then came the first real incident. I walked into the hallway at night and passed the mirror. For a second, I thought I saw movement behind me in the reflection. Not mine, something else. I turned, but the hallway was empty. I looked back at the mirror. It was showing more of the hallway than should have been visible. The angle was wrong. Just slightly, but it was enough to make my stomach tighten. I stood there staring at it. Then I blinked, and everything looked normal again. The next morning, the mirror had fog on it. Just the mirror, nothing else in the hallway was damp. There were two small handprints on the glass, low down, like a child had touched it. I live alone. I wiped them away, heart pounding, and told myself I had brushed against it with something without realizing. I tried to forget, but that night, I heard tapping. 3 soft knocks, like someone knocking gently on wood. I followed the sound. It was coming from the mirror. I stared at it. The reflection showed the hallway clearly, but I wasn't in it. Something else was? A figure. Pale, thin, shoulders hunched, its head slightly tilted as if studying me. Then the light buzzed and flicked back on. It was gone. My reflection returned. I didn't touch the mirror again. I covered it with a towel and taped the corners. 2 hours later, I walked by and the towel was on the floor. The mirror was uncovered, facing out like it wanted to be seen. That's when the dream started. I dreamed of long hallways that stretched too far, filled with whispers that said my name from places I couldn't find. And always, at the end of those dream hallways, was the mirror, standing alone, waiting for me to look into it. And when I did, I woke up. I tried throwing it out once. I left it beside the dumpster, walked away, didn't look back. I felt good for the first time in weeks. The next morning, it was back in the hallway. No sign of how. No marks on the door. Just there. Exactly where it had been. I haven't touched it since. I don't look into it anymore. But sometimes, when I pass it without thinking, I swear I still see that extra length of hallway and something at the far end just standing there, I stopped looking into the mirror altogether. I taped a thick blanket over it, covered it with a piece of plywood, and pushed a bookshelf in front of it. I told myself that was enough. That whatever was happening would stop once it couldn't see me anymore or I couldn't see it. But it didn't stop. The noises got worse. I started waking up to loud knocks in the hallway. Once, it sounded like a full hand slapping the wall. Not playful, angry, heavy. My neighbors never heard anything. I asked the girl upstairs if she heard banging in the night, and she said noonly that I sometimes sounded like I was pacing for hours. I wasn't. Most nights, I barely moved. I'd lie frozen in bed, afraid that if I made a sound, the thing would know I was awake. One night I heard breathing. Not mine, not through the walls. In the room, low and steady, right near the foot of the bed. I turned on my phone flashlight with trembling hands and shined it into the dark. Nothing was there. But the mirror, the one hidden behind wood and books, was somehow uncovered the next morning. The blanket had been pulled down, neatly folded, the plywood was on the floor, the bookshelf hadn't moved, but the mirror was exposed again, clean and silent. And the glass wasn't reflecting anything, just black. Not darkness, not shadow, just absence. That's when I knew it wasn't just watching anymore. It wanted out. I called the woman I bought it from. Her number was disconnected. I found her name on the app and traced it back to an old address almost an hour away. I drove there the same day. I needed to know more. An older man answered the door. Her brother. She passed away 2 months ago, just before I bought the mirror. I asked if he knew anything about it. At first, he said no. Then he paused, stepped outside, and lit a cigarette with shaking hands. He didn't look at me when he spoke. She found that mirror in an abandoned farmhouse, he said. She shouldn't have taken it. She knew it too after a while. She said it showed things. She said she saw herself standing in a reflection when she wasn't even in the room. I told him I was seeing things too, that I'd heard voices, seen figures. He said one last thing before going back inside. She tried to break it once. It didn't crack. It just laughed. He shut the door. That word stuck with me. Laughed. That night, I tried one last time to get rid of it. I carried it to the car, wrapped in sheets, and drove out to a junkyard 20 miles away. I threw it into a deep pit with old tires and metal scraps. I didn't watch it hit the ground. I didn't look back. When I got home, the apartment was colder than usual. And the mirror was in the hallway. Back in the same place, unwrapped, clean, waiting. The plywood was back against the wall. The bookshelf untouched. I stood there for maybe 10 minutes, staring at my own reflection. My heart felt heavy, like it was being pulled toward the glass. My thoughts didn't feel like my own. I found myself wondering how long it would take to step inside if I just leaned forward and let it happen. I stepped away and went to bed. I didn't sleep. At 3:13 a.m., I heard a knock. One soft knock, right next to the bed, like a knuckle gently tapping wood. Then breathing. Then a voice low and dry, just behind my ear. Come see. I turned on the light. My room was empty. But when I opened the door, the hallway looked wrong. It was too long. I took one step out. The floor creaked. The air felt heavier. The mirror at the end of the hallway no longer showed my reflection. It showed a hallway that stretched into blackness, farther than my apartment could possibly go. And at the far end of that impossible hallway, something was standing. Still, facing me. Same shape, same height, same posture. It was me. Or it looked like me. But it didn't move. It didn't blink. It just stood there, watching. I haven't uncovered the mirror since. It's wrapped again, sealed under layers of tape, wood, and shelves. But every few nights, it finds its way out. And I see it again. That version of me, a little closer each time. It never blinks. It never moves. But I can feel it thinking. And sometimes, just sometimes, I feel it smile. Like it knows it's not going to stay behind the glass forever. Like it knows I'll eventually get tired. Forget to cover it. Fall asleep with the light off. Stand too close. And When I do, it'll switch places with me, and I'll be the one trapped behind the glass.